It was meant to be a calm, easygoing night. My wife, Mia, had invited me to a housewarming party hosted by one of her coworkers. She assured me it would only be a small gathering, just a handful of people from her job. I agreed, even though I couldn't stand those stiff corporate-style get-togethers where everyone pretends to be friendly while quietly sizing each other up. Still, I wanted to be there for her. We'd grown distant recently, and I hoped this evening might help close that gap. I put on my nicest suit, picked up a bottle of aged wine as a gift, and reminded myself to keep smiling. When we stepped inside, the place was buzzing, laughter bouncing off the sleek walls. But almost immediately, something felt off. Mia wasn't focused on me. Her attention was locked onto a tall man across the room who flashed an overly confident smile the second he noticed her. His name was Derek, her close colleague from work. I'd heard about him before. The type who always shared private jokes with women and wore a smug grin around men he didn't take seriously. When Mia introduced us, he offered his hand casually, his eyes sharp with arrogance. "So this is the husband," he said, as if I were a minor character in his narrative. The way he said it, half amused, half dismissive, set off warning bells in my head. Mia laughed and lightly nudged him. "Oh, Derek, don't start." It sounded like harmless teasing, but I immediately saw the imbalance. He thrived on attention, and she was used to giving it to him. I stayed composed, shook his hand, and kept quiet for the moment. As the night went on, Derek's remarks grew sharper. "Man, you're lucky Mia even settled down," he said while refilling his glass. "Back at work, she turns heads everywhere. Honestly, I'm surprised she didn't wait for someone a bit more adventurous." The people around us laughed. Mia shoved him playfully and whispered, "Stop it, Derek." But she was laughing too. That laugh, the strained, uneasy one, told me she never expected me to respond. She assumed I'd do what I always did, stand there and grin through it. For a moment, I almost did. Then something inside me broke. I'd stayed quiet for too long, letting others, her included, treat my dignity like an accessory. I turned to Derek, my voice calm and controlled. "You're right," I said. The laughter faded. "She does turn heads at work. That probably explains why you can't stop staring, even though you know she'll never choose you." Derek's smirk faltered. "Excuse me," he said, forcing a laugh. I stepped closer. "Let's be honest. None of your jokes tonight are about me. They're about your insecurity. You think belittling her husband makes you look strong. Doesn't. It just reminds everyone that she's going home with me. Not you." The room went silent. Faces that had been smiling now looked stunned. Mia's eyes widened. Derek tried to recover, lifting his glass. "Hey man, relax. It's just jokes." I cut him off. "Then joke about yourself next time," I said evenly. "Because tonight you're the punchline."
A few people snorted quickly, hiding their amusement. Derek's face flushed deep red, his ego deflated in front of everyone. He muttered under his breath and stormed off toward the bar. Mia stood frozen beside me, her glass shaking in her hand. For the first time that night, she wasn't laughing. She was finally seeing how that so-called friendship looked to everyone else. The rest of the party was painfully awkward. People kept glancing at me, some shocked, others impressed. I didn't care. I was done being polite just to keep up appearances. When we left, the drive home was silent for the first 10 minutes. Then Mia spoke. "You didn't have to humiliate him," she said quietly, staring ahead. I let out a bitter chuckle. "Humiliate him? He mocked me all night right in front of you, and you laughed. But the moment I stand up for myself, I'm suddenly the problem." She didn't respond. She just watched her reflection in the window, pale and ashamed. When we got home, she turned on me, tears swelling up. "You made me look bad," she said, her voice trembling. I looked at her, exhausted, but steady. "No, Mia, you made yourself look bad. You stood by while another man disrespected your husband and your marriage, and you laughed. I just reminded him and you that respect isn't optional." Her anger drained away. She sank onto the couch, silent, humbled. I walked into the bedroom, loosened my tie, and said softly, "Next time, think carefully who you defend when the joke is at my expense." The next morning, Derek texted her. I saw the notification light up her phone. "Tell your husband to chill. Some of us can take a joke." Without hesitating, I picked up the phone, typed a reply, and sent it. You're right. Some people can take a joke, but I'm not one of them when it involves my wife. I set the phone down. Mia said nothing. She understood it was over between them. That smug little bond they shared had turned to ashes overnight. Over the next few days, she changed. She grew quieter, more reflective. She apologized more than once sincerely this time. I didn't realize how bad it looked, she admitted. You didn't have to defend me like that. I gave a faint smile. I wasn't defending you, Mia. I was defending us or whatever's left of it. She looked down, tears forming. For the first time in a long while, she understood the weight of my silence and the cost of my restraint. That night at the party changed everything. I learned that reclaiming respect doesn't always require shouting or fighting. Sometimes you just need to speak once clearly and let the truth handle the rest. Derek lost his arrogance. Mia lost her illusion of control. And I found something I'd forgotten. The strength to carry myself with dignity no matter who laughs.